Hi everyone, GCT Academy is an exciting new show that will help you play your best golf. I'm your host, Rochan Wonglukiat. Setting up is an important part of every sport. Now, if we talk about golf, as we know, it's pretty much the first thing that you do and to get your swing going. Here today is leading instructor of Bangkok Golf Center, Mark Snooks. Welcome, Mark.
Hi, Fred. How are you?
All right, good. So let's talk a little bit about the setup and how you would, teach a student and bring it along the process.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, as you said, it's one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, to a good golf game. Setting up correctly with the correct posture, making sure that everything's solid to then produce a good golf swing. You need a foundation or a structure to be able to actually swing the golf club correctly, and that starts with a sound setup.
Right. Now, talking about setup, I mean, does it matter if you're male or female, or like if you're like different height?
No, not at all. The way that I try to do it in my lessons, I've found that everybody can do the steps that I've got. I mean, I have a 3-year-old boy that I teach, and I have 75-year-old males and females that I teach. So I've found over my entire career that doing it this way, everyone can do it, and everyone can kind of look like a golf pro.
Right, I like that. It's important, obviously, that everyone, no matter age or male or female, to be able to go through this process. So, talking about your process, Mark, can you bring us, starting with the first step?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first step to any good setup is a neutral sound grip. You must make sure that you do that. The second step would be ball position, and having the correct ball position for each club is vitally important. We can show you how to do that. Our third step would be the body weight. So where your body weight ends up on your feet, very important to keep your balance. And balance is a big important thing in the golf swing, as you know.
Sure.
Our final step is posture, and for me it's one of the most important things, making sure that our back is in a strong position, and it then can help us control the golf swing the best way possible.
Right, so we have 4 steps. So the first step that we have is basically the grip.
Yep.
Have a nice grip.
Correct.
Then the second is the ball position, where you put the ball.
Yep.
Then the third step is body weight. And body weight is obviously, you might not be too far back or too far forward.
Exactly. On your heels or your toes or the outside of your
Right.
feet, we want to make sure we get it in the right place so that you have the most amount of balance
Right.
throughout the swing.
And the final one would be, where you put the angles of your body. Right?
The posture, mostly
posture.
your back position.
Mostly your back position.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we have you demonstrate here?
Sure.
Just going through, first step.
Yeah, sure. So
Right.
our first step obviously is the grip. Secondly, followed by ball position. So what I would get all my students to do
Right.
is start with feet together
Okay.
for all clubs, and then we'd take a 2 to 3 inch step to the left, assuming you're a right-hander. If we're using sand iron, pitching wedge, 9-iron, about the same to the right. So the ball's going to end up in the middle of your stance for sand iron, pitching wedge, 9-iron. As the clubs get longer, your back foot moves back further until we get to driver, which is obviously the longest club in the
Right.
bag. And you'll end up being around shoulder width or just outside shoulder width.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is, as far as ball position, we'll start together, with feet together almost,
Yep.
right? And it would basically be towards the middle of your stance.
In the middle
right?
of your feet, yep.
And as we migrate through the bag, through the longer clubs, it will creep closer to the left until we get to the driver.
Your back foot will
Right.
go further away from the
so
golf
that
ball.
way. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
All right, so now-
Easiest way to do it.
Right, that's good. So then now that we have the grip,
Yep.
and then the next thing is now we have the ball position. So we go to the third.
Yep, so our third step is the body weight on your feet and where your body weight should be. So
Okay.
what we want to do is
Probably
make
better
sure...
this angle, right?
Yeah, we
Body
can
weight.
turn around there
Right.
very quickly.
Right.
So once we have that ball position there, and I'm using a 7-iron here, so it's around 2 inches and 4 to 5 inches to the right, we want to get a correct body weight. We don't want to be on our heels. We don't want to be on our toes. We want our body weight to be on the balls of our feet, which is the largest part of our foot, therefore we'll have the most amount of balance. So to do that, we simply shuffle backwards until you feel yourself just starting to lean into the golf ball. So just forwards, and that body weight will feel across the largest part of your foot.
So naturally, most people sometimes get too far back in the heels when they set up. And
Absolutely.
when you tell them to go forward, almost feel like they're going to fall.
People tend to feel like they're going to fall over
Right.
a little bit, but that's actually a pretty good thing.
Okay.
That's not a bad feeling to have.
Okay.
We definitely don't want to be on our heels
Right.
looking like this. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
So now that we have step 1, step 2, and step 3 of the body weight, so now we're going to talk about the posture.
Yeah, so the final step to my 4 steps to success, if you'd like to call it that, is the posture. So how we position our back. It needs to be strong, it needs to be sound, and that helps us develop a good swing in the process as well.
Okay.
So to do that, essentially what we want to do is raise our hips up as far as we can and out the back as far as we can, which also straightens my legs. We don't want straight legs, so then we just unlock our knees. And now, as you can probably see here, starting like this, if my hips go up and back, just unlock my knees. Now I look a lot like more a professional than an amateur.
Perfect. You look just like Adam Scott, your
Exactly.
fellow countryman.
Yeah, that's him.
Winning
One of the
major
best swings.
championships.
Yep, for sure.
All right, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically those are the 4 steps,
Yep.
and it's very clear. So today we have one of your students
Yes.
that will be here,
Yep.
and we'll help you demonstrate and go through this 4-step process for setting up correctly.
Exactly. We'll take us through the 4-step process and maybe hit a couple of balls at the end and see a good result.
Okay. All right. Next break.